And here's something we don't need. We told you about this yesterday, that there's a bill being pushed in Sacramento that would extend the right of illegal aliens to practice medicine, dentistry, the nursing profession, barbers and hairstylists, security guards, pharmacy, all of those professions that require state licenses. And this is the aftermath of that court case where the illegal alien attorney was granted the right to practice law in California, even though he's legally not allowed to serve on a jury. And this is combined, by the way, with the Chamber of Commerce story we told you about yesterday, where Tom Donahue, the president of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, said if the GOP doesn't pass amnesty, they should not even bother to run a candidate in 2016. But in the California bill, William Gheen, president of the Americans for Legal Immigration Political Action Committee, said, quote, "It's insane. By granting licenses to illegal immigrants, you both aid and abet illegal immigration, which is a violation of federal law, and you're sending a message to the rest of the planet Earth that says, come on, come to California." He's 100% right, and he's on the Newsmaker line right now. Good morning, Mr. Is it Gheen or Gheen?
It's William Gheen, the president of ALIPAC, which is short for Americans for Legal Immigration PAC.
Well, William, thanks for being with us. And, of course, I read your stuff all the time, and this is an issue we've been covering only every day for 20 years. So,
yes, sir. And your audiences know how bad things have gotten. And one of the things I was just thinking about as you were doing the lead in there, when you think of licensing by the state, you think that the state is saying that we need to put a stamp of approval on people that are going to be doing sensitive jobs, dealing with complex land laws like real estate, and handling perhaps a gun or a taser and people's well-being as a security guard. We, the state, must approve these to give the public some assurance that this doctor, that this practitioner has a certain level of not only quality to their work, but integrity, that they're not a sex offender, that they're not a person of poor moral character, to give the people some type of assurance. And they're saying that they're willing to put these licenses in the hands of people that have willfully shown a disrespect for boundaries, the existing immigration laws of the United States, and the people and the workers of the United States. They're sending up a signal that they're willing to put a stamp of quality and integrity approval on people that have broken our laws and disrespect. And of course, the average person in America understands this is a terrible thing to do, understands this is the wrong thing to do, and that's why the majority of people would do it. But up in Sacramento and up in the upper echelons of both the Democratic and Republican Party, you've got people that are supporting the illegal alien invasion of America's interest over the interest of the American citizens that are suffering from it.
Well, yeah, they don't. We have the elites of this country don't believe in sovereignty. They don't believe that, and it's divided on a couple of different fault lines. For people on the left, it's the demographic remaking of America for political reasons, and for the so-called corporatists who run the Republican Party, and in many cases also the Democratic Party, it's simply they look at borders as a vestigial holdover of a bygone era, that they're impediments to free trade, which to them means cheap labor and insourcing of cheap workers. So we know that. We've covered all of this, but here's the issue that you nailed in your quote on this in the LA Times. And we've talked about it only 10 million times, but we'll keep saying it until it sinks in. Local politicians, whenever they're cornered on the immigration issue, will always point the finger at Washington and say, well, this is a federal responsibility. But they absolve themselves or refuse to take responsibility for the laws that they pass at the local level, state, county, and city level, municipal level, that actively encourage people to come here and then facilitate it. And this, you can't have, this isn't, we're talking about doctors, physicians, nurses, we're talking about pharmacists, we're talking about real good-paying jobs, and the further obliterating of any distinction between legal and illegal immigration.
Well, and what they're doing is that they're proceeding on a plan of federal legislation that hasn't passed, that's been defeated, that's been held back by groups like ALIPAC. We fought and stopped the comprehensive immigration reform amnesty bills of 2006, 2007. We're fighting like crazy right now to stop Republicans like John Boehner and Eric Cantor from helping Obama. And, you know, when I was very pleased to be in the Los Angeles Times again in Patrick McGreevy's article, but it leads off with an example of a girl named Denise Rojas,
Right.
who was brought here at 6 months old as a baby. A very, very small percentage of the millions of illegal immigrants in California and the country were brought here as little bitty babies across the border. But that's what they do to try to say, oh, look, here's a person who had no choice whatsoever over that.
Right.
99% of the illegal immigrants walking around in this country made a choice to invade this country, break in here, disrespect their laws, disrespect borders. And you've got to understand boundaries and borders are very important, because when you've got a person that's willing to, 99.9% of Americans do not go out there violating the boundaries.
If you don't have control of your borders, you're not a nation. It's that
if
simple.
You don't respect boundaries of countries, why would you expect boundaries of other people sexually or anything else? And it doesn't mean that every illegal immigrant is some type of rapist or murderer.
No,
but
we know
have
that.
a lot of people who are being killed, and that's the other thing. It says here in the article, it says that something about, California is leading the nation in efforts to integrate immigrants. They're not immigrants, they're illegal aliens, okay, and into mainstream society, providing them with licenses, providing them with college tuition, and protection from deportation for minor crimes. Well, apparently they haven't read the Washington Times today, because it is clear that the Obama administration has released hundreds of rapists, hundreds of murderers, hundreds of drunk drivers, all of these people with very serious convictions or charges.
Well, that's the thing. They get to decide what they consider to be minor crime, and no one checks and no one cares. And you're right. We're inoculated to this, William. We've had so many LA Times sob stories. Anytime they write about the immigration issue, they include a sob story. And on any individual case, they may be actually heartstring stories, but we can't set public policy and have our national sovereignty dependent upon feelings. It has to be what's in the... People have forgotten that nations have immigration policies for the benefit of the nation, not for the benefit of the individuals who come into the country on a voluntary basis, either legally or illegally. But it's certainly absurd that we have to yield our national law and what's in the interest of the greater good of the country because somebody came here illegally. ALIPAC is the website, and thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.